What's going on, guys? So we're back here with another video on basically the best measurements you can use to be able to calculate and read your data the most efficiently while you're scaling, testing, or just moving different products in and out of your ads manager. So what I designed was a KPI calculation spreadsheet that has already set algorithms to be able to understand your break even and your profit target KPIs. And your KPIs are basically obviously your return on ad spend, the data you need to read towards your view content, add to cart, initiate checkout. These are already columns that I've told you previously in the course to add so that you're able to read your data more efficiently. So what this basically does is you have an average order value, you have, your average fees, your average cost of goods, your profit target, and all this information here is going to put you in a position to understand where you need to be for break even and where you need to be for your profit target. So let's get into this. So let's say you guys are selling your product, let's say for $40, and average fees are typically zero if you're selling to the United States. But if you're selling to, let's say, like United Kingdom, Australia, and Canada, like I was illustrating before, and your supplier is making you pay maybe like an extra dollar or two for shipping, we'll just say your average fees are like a dollar or one. So afterwards, you find your average cost of goods. So I don't know if your cost of goods are $12. After buying the product is $12, then you can put that right here for average cost of goods. And then let's say you want to have a profit target of either 20%, 30%, 35%, anywhere you want. We'll do 20%. And so while we're doing this, it's going to spit you out different numbers. So this is where you need to be for breaking even. And then this is where you need to be for your profit target KPIs over here. So what this did was if your average order value is $40 and this is what your selling price is, it shows you that your cost per purchase needs to be at least $27.60, your cost per initiate checkout, $18.99, and so on and so on. And it spits you out an actual return on ad spend of 1.45. So you can see this will change, obviously, if, let's say, your selling price is 50. You see, obviously, your return on ad spend goes down. We'll go back down to 40 just to stay with this type of example. So what this is also going to do is with this profit target of 20%, it's going to show you what you need to have in your KPIs to be able to make this 20% profit margin. So again, if you change this to 25%, you can see this goes down or these numbers change over here. But again, we'll stick with the example of 20%. So when you're running your products, I know that I said, run for 3 days. That is something that you should still be able to do and you should be doing because you're allowing your Facebook pixel to build the data up to be able to completely run based off of Facebook's guidelines to illustrate, okay, this is the data I needed to collect. This is the time I needed to run this product so that you're able to not, cut things too quick or cut things too short, or you didn't allow something to run, in enough time because you thought that basically I spent maybe $20 and that was it for you. You got to basically run it towards your cost per purchase and etc. with these numbers below so that you're able to understand the data that you're reading. So basically what this is doing for you is if we come over here, let's say that you guys have, these ad sets that are running, right? What you should be able to add on top of your add to cart, your initiate checkout, and your purchases is you should be doing these cost per view for content views, these cost per add to carts, cost per initiate checkouts, and etc. on top of your return on ad spend. So if we go back over here and we see, okay, for example, let's say for this product I, sold it for $40. My cost per purchase needs to be where it says cost per purchase. It needs to be under $27. So this is one of my ad accounts that I have for one of my stores, and you can see it's doing very well. I'm having return on ad spends of like 300, 12, 12.56, 7, etc. And these are all these are all with my break even of being 1.47. So as you can tell, there's a lot of profitable ad sets within this. But how I read my data is based off of these numbers right here. So let's say my cost per purchase has to be 27. And let's say I spent $27 without a purchase, then I'm going to cut it right away. But let's say that I've spent $20 so far and I haven't even got to add to cart. Will I allow that to run to $27? I most likely will not, but there's certain times that I will. So if this is spent $20 over here for my amount spent, and let's say that, it looks something like this first ad set where, you don't even have an add to cart, you don't even have an initiate checkout. Well, obviously there's a purchase. Well, obviously I'm going to continue to run it because at the end of the day, your return on ad spend is the most important thing. We want to make sure that every single day we're going home with money. But let's say, for an example, this spent $20. You only had, maybe one add to cart, and then you can come over here and you can look at your cost per content views, your cost per add to carts. So if I don't have an add to cart and I've spent more than what my KPI says I can spend for my add to cart, I'll go down the ladder, right? So it says I can spend $1.76 for my content view to break even. So if I don't have an add to cart, but my cost per content view is maybe, let's say, $1.30, $1.20, I will continue to allow it to run until the next phase of initiate checkout. So if I've already spent $15 but no add to cart, right? And it was $1.50 for my content view, I'm allowed to run to this $19 for this initiate checkout because there's a part of the ladder that is doing very well and I'm still getting a lot of content views. So as we move up and we see, okay, cost per initiate checkout, we get to the $19. And let's say you have an add to cart and then you don't have a cost per initiate checkout right now, but you're still under $1.50, but you're at $20, right? So $20 is the amount that you can spend, or $18.99 is the amount you can spend for initiate checkout. But again, let's move down the ladder. So now if I've got an add to cart and I've got to view content, I will continue to allow this to run to my cost per purchase because I know that, one, I'm not cutting this too quickly. I'm allowing the data to work for itself, but I'm also not losing money, and I'm not going to put money into things that I am obviously losing. So I'll allow it to run to the 2760, and if I got to 2760, no matter what, if there's not a purchase, I don't care. Like, I don't care if there's 3 add to carts. I don't care if there's 2 initiate checkouts. If you've gone to your cost of purchase that you're allowed to do for your break even and you have not got a purchase, you should cut that item no matter what because at the end of the day, you're not making money on that. So when it comes to your initiate checkouts, your add to carts, your view contents, these are all working with a ladder. So you kind of just look at these 3 type of columns and you see, okay, well, one of the 3 are working really well. So let me allow it to run to the next one. If it does well when it gets to initiate checkout, then I'll allow it to run for my cost per purchase. But if all of these are 0, like if you have 0 add to carts, 0 initiate checkouts, and your cost per content view is like $2, right? And you've spent $22, you haven't got your cost per purchase yet, I would cut that shit. I mean, excuse my language, but I would really cut it because I don't want to be able to be put in a position where I am losing money. So what I'm going to do is just throw in new ad sets, throw in multiple new ad sets every single night so that I'm finding what is working the best for me based off of the numbers that I'm able to reach. So once you get down to the point of where you're done testing a bunch of items, well, you're going to continue to always test. But when you get to where you want to get profit wise, 20%, you can also run this same exact type of algorithm towards the profit target that you're trying to make. So again, if we do 25%, you can see that you need to have a return on ad spend of 2.27 and a cost per view content of $1.12 and etc. So what this is basically allowing you to do is be able to read your metrics a lot more efficiently and a lot more easier for you because it's all plug and go based off of an algorithm. So these top 3 sections right here are basically what you need to have in place while you're testing, scaling, etc. When you've basically have found a winning product and it's been selling for a while, you can be able to find your advanced variables on your Shopify platform. So what this is doing for you is basically showing you like where you're at averagely or on average. So let's say you've been selling a product for 5 months, 4 months, and you basically have got a lot of added cards, a lot of purchases, and more. Well, you can go to your Shopify, right? And you can go to your analytics, and you can go to add to cart, or you can go to dashboards, and it'll show you your add to cart, your reach checkout, and your sessions converted. So these numbers right here are the average conversion funnels that I'm receiving over, as you can tell, from June 15th to November 11th. So this is a lot of data collected. So it's showing me based off of average. My add to cart is 7.84%. My reach checkout is 4.57%, and my sessions converted is 3.38%. So if 7.84 is for add to cart, we will come back in here. We'll just type in 7.84, right? So with these advanced variables, and obviously with reach checkout and purchase, you can fill all the same data in as well. What this is going to do is have you structured on a daily and a weekly balance of, okay, let me break down my data of the last week. Have I been still, reaching this 7.84% for add to cart? Have I still been reaching this 9.26 for reach checkout? And that way you're able to see if products, need, if they're starting to die off, if you're needing to add more advertisements to what you're currently already scaling, etc. You're basically able to see what you need to do to either improve or maintain what you're already doing very well. And then your baseline purchase conversion rate is literally just the purchases divided by the sessions you have on your store, which gives you an online conversion rate. So you can basically see where you need to be at on a daily basis for your conversions to be an average where you have been making the money that you've already been making. So let's say that you've done 150,000 in sales with let's say 80,000 conversions. You know that this needs to be 1.87 every day. So 1.875, and again, how I got that was 150,000 divided by 80,000, which gave me a number of where I need to be at for my conversion rate. So this is just a great illustration, and this is how you find your online store conversion rate. So 3.38% is mine. So I know that this is where I need to be at on an average basis or average weekly basis, just to understand that I'm still moving and progressing in a positive direction. So I wanted to share you guys this. I'm going to be able to throw this into my course right now, and I'm gonna leave this blank for you just so that you guys are able to play around with your numbers, play around with your profit margins, and be able to see exactly where you need to be at and be able to read your numbers efficiently. So on to the next video, guys. Thank you guys for coming back and visiting again, and I'll see you guys soon.